Hello, today we have Xiuh here from Top.gg, and today I'll be asking her questions about Top.gg. And yeah, so let me just let Xiuh introduce herself.
Hey, yeah, my name is Zaya, or also people call me Xiuh sometimes. I am the community manager at Top.gg. I am also a full-time employee. I am a community and support associate as a full-time employee. And basically what that means is I interact with the community. I do a lot of advocacy for the community and interaction, a lot of events and planning. I handle our social media accounts. I do all of the support stuff behind the scenes. So if you've ever sent an email to support@top.gg, that's probably me that's answered. I also do a lot of the auction support. But in terms of community, I also run the bot reviewer program. So I started out as a regular moderator and then worked my way up to a community manager. And I really enjoy what I do there. I've been there as a volunteer for almost 2.5 years. And I've been working there full time since February. So it's been definitely an interesting journey. And I've seen Top.gg through a lot of changes and a lot of new things. And definitely hoping that in the future we live up to people's expectations and implement some new things and redesign some things and hopefully definitely give the community exactly what they're asking for.
All right, I was just about to ask you what you did at Top.gg, but I just answered that. Um,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been interesting recently because we did have some people leave. So while my title is community and support associate, I basically do, anything and everything that needs done, except for coding. I'm not really an engineer. I do dabble on the side, with I have my own bots and stuff that I code, but in terms of like actual website development, I am completely over my head in that. But anything else, comes to community support, social media, PR, anything like that. I've been doing a little bit of product work, like all that kind of stuff. If there's a hole, I step in and fill it. And that's basically like, there's not really a title that can construe all of that in it. So, I definitely do pretty much anything and everything except for coding.
yeah, great. So what were you doing before Top.gg?
So before Top.gg, I actually was a dog groomer. I worked full time at PetSmart for a little bit, and then at a private groomer here nearby in my town. It was definitely a different experience than working in support. You deal a lot more with your furry clients than with the human ones. But I definitely needed a change of pace. Dog grooming is definitely very physically demanding. And um, as I became, a bit older and realized that my body isn't really enjoying what I'm putting it through, I definitely needed more of a sit down kind of job where I didn't put as much stress on my body and didn't do as much moving around. So I started looking for a more of like a work from home, office job kind of thing. And at the very coincidentally at the same time, Top.gg was put on an advertisement for support associates, which is what I did before I groomed. So when I first dropped out of college, I worked at a call center, help desk call center. So I definitely had support experience, even though it was a bit older. I think it would have been like 2, 3 years between. But luckily they saw something in me. They saw I had some experience, and I definitely had experience, obviously, with volunteering for the site and moderating. So I already knew the product and knew the community. So it was really awesome that they gave me the chance that they did to work here full time.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. When did you find Top.gg, and what made you want to become a staff member there?
I started using Discord when some of my friends got a Discord's accounts, and I actually was a community like moderator kind of thing on an amino app, and they made a Discord server for it, so I joined. And while I was poking around Discord and exploring Discord, I found a bot. It's actually the Idle RPG bot. You might know of it. It's pretty big. And I started using that bot, and it was just really fun to play with and to interact with the community of the bot. And I decided that I wanted to make my own because I was at the time in school for computer science, and so I was learning JavaScript and C++. And so I decided I wanted to make a bot. And then I wanted other people to use it, so I found Top.gg, just because it was, the biggest server and bot list at the time, and I joined the community. I listed my bot. I was in the community for I think 9 or 10 months before moderator applications opened up. And at the time, I hadn't really had a lot of Discord moderation experience, but I did have a lot of moderation experience on other platforms. So I've been a moderator on Facebook, on Reddit, and then obviously on Amino at the time. So I was like, why not give it a shot? This community is really nice. I've been part of it for a while and chatting, and bots are a bit of a passion of mine at that point. I had made like 2 or 3, I think, at that point. So I went ahead and applied, and luckily, they gave me a trial and I passed my trial, so I became a full mod. And it's definitely been like a really amazing experience. I'm really glad that I chose to apply and I was excuse me, and then I was accepted, because it's definitely changed my life. Obviously I'm a full-time employee now, and I wouldn't be here if it weren't for, them giving me a chance 2 years ago to become a mod. So I'm really glad that I chose to become staff at Top.gg.
Yeah, that's just amazing. So what's planned for Top.gg?
Can't say too much, because obviously there's a lot of stuff in development right now. Specifically right now, we're focusing a lot on fixing all of the bugs, and fixing all of the development issues, and stuff like that. So we've been really working on redesigning and reworking auctions, which is our advertisement platform here on Top.gg. We want to make it a better experience, make users, kind of keep it up to standard with like other advertising platforms, and add a bunch of new features, as well as make it possible for users to properly pay, because we do have an issue with our payment provider, and so we're trying to switch those and all that kind of stuff. But we're also focusing really on bug fixes right now. In the future, there's definitely plans to expand. We do originally just did Discord bots and servers. We did recently add DAOs, in our DAO space. In the future, we'd love to add Minecraft servers, Roblox servers, any other, kind of like top list, that people, might want or might use. That's something that we're definitely interested in exploring the space for. Right now, we really just want to focus on making ourselves better at what we do before we try to expand. So I'm not sure, how far in advance any of that stuff is, but we definitely want to expand the space as much as we can.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. What do you see Top.gg in 10 years?
In 10 years, I definitely hope that we are at the point where we have expanded into that other spaces. So top lists for pretty much anything and everything you can imagine. Whether it's, Minecraft, Roblox, Skyrim, GTA, whatever you can imagine. If you want to find out what's the best, we hope that you come to top.gg. So, I don't know if that'll happen in 10 years or hopefully maybe faster than that, but it really just depends on our timelines and how much engineering and work we can get done. So,
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of engineering work. Um, So, just can you describe Top.gg in 3 words?
3 words. So, I mean, it's really hard to describe top.gg in 3 words because there's, it's so big. Even now with just Discord bots and servers, it's its own thing. But I'd probably say that we have like one word that I would use is community. Our community is really tight. We have a lot of active users in our Discord server, and also, people that consistently are interacting with us on Twitter, asking questions in our support channels and stuff. So community is definitely one word. Another word that I would try to use is driven. So we try to, make the best of what we have and be the best at what we do. And we try to be also transparent with our drive. We're trying to focus on where we're going and what we're doing. And we're trying to, fix the bugs that we create along the way. But the third word that I would use to describe Top.gg would definitely be passion, or passionate, I guess. We definitely want to, hire more people that have the same passion that the current employees do. We want to expand and bring on new minds and new ideas. And we want to be able to, communicate with each other and with the community, and make it the best that it can be, while also, seeing other people's ideas and their oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Their scope, and their, ideology of things. So yeah, definitely community drive and passion is something that really encapsulates Top.gg, and I hope continues to encapsulate it as we move forward to do whatever else we plan to do.
Yeah, very well spoken. Um, what do you think of AI?
So I've never, personally had anything to do with AI. I think that it's really interesting, and that there's definitely, maybe a market for AI in the future with, like robots that serve humans or whatever, you want to use AI to do. I definitely think that it's definitely something that is up and coming, and it might be something that we're interested in, but I don't know personally anything about it, so there's not too much I can say.
Yeah, that's all right. Do you think Topgg could implement some sort of AI in the future?
Is possible. I'm not sure if that's something like that's a direction where we're going, but it's something that like we might have uses for, especially with our search function. Maybe we could use some kind of AI to pick and predict and like what's going to be the top bots or the top servers or the top GTA roleplay servers. Whatever it ends up being. There's definitely some kind of possibility for that, but I know currently we don't have anyone that would be able to make anything like that. So it's definitely something that might be in the far off future, but it might be something that we want to consider and look into.
Yeah, great. So, as you mentioned before, you said that you ran the bot reviewer program. So, what is it like running the bot reviewer program of Top.gg?
My favorite things that I do. I know I do a lot of support and I do a lot of community outreach, but my favorite thing that I do is interacting with our volunteers. I started as a volunteer. I know what it was like being a volunteer, and it's really important for me to make sure that our volunteers know that they're being heard with their their complaints or their questions, and that they have someone to support them that's on the team, like I am. So it's definitely something that I really enjoy doing. It does take up a significant part of what I do. I'm always available for questions if a reviewer is testing a bot and they're not sure what to do, if they're not sure if it's approvable or not. I'm the one they come to with questions. But another big part of what I do with the bot reviewer program is hiring new bot reviewers. So we have applications open always, and we go through them whenever we need. Normally, once a month, maybe once every 2 months, we'll have a new wave. But I get to reach out to people, schedule interviews. I get to chat with them. I get to meet them and learn their personalities and figure out if they're a good fit or if we're a good fit for them. And then, I get to help them through their trial. They'll have a mentor. What we do is we have our bot reviewer mentor program. So one of our moderators will be their one-on-one mentor, but I still get to interact with each of them, and I get to keep an eye on them while they train, and make sure they don't make any mistakes or if they need any help whatsoever. So a lot of what I do is basically just being there. If somebody needs to shoot me a DM or ping me and ask me a question, like I'm there, no matter what time of day it is, or as long as I'm not sleeping, I'll be available to answer. But even with like the moderators, like I'm only the head of the bot reviewer program, so I don't do too much with our moderation team. But I'm still one of the community managers that lead the moderation team, and I understand how frustrating sometimes it can be to be a moderator, especially of a bigger server, and not only the server but the website itself. Dealing with reviews and reports, and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes you just need somebody to lean on and to ask questions. So I try to be there for everybody. I try to check up on everybody every once in a while. If they're on break, I'll reach out to them and be like, "Hey, is there anything I can do?" So just coming from a perspective of someone who was a moderator, it's really important that we continue to keep tabs on our moderation team and our bot reviewer team. So we try to be as transparent with them as we possibly can, and let them know what's coming up or what fixes are being made. So it's really important for me to be part of the bot reviewer program, and it's definitely something that I had a passion for even before becoming the head of the bot reviewer program. I used to hold the record for most bots done in 1 week. Unfortunately, Yara took it from me, but that's perfectly okay. We don't have that many bots in queue anymore to even break the record, which is in part due to our amazing bot reviewer team. So I've definitely been trying to, incentivize and improve the program as much as possible, and brainstorm like ideas and stuff for, bringing on new bot reviewers and making the bot reviewing experience as easy and as positive as possible for all of our volunteers. So it's definitely like my favorite part of the job, like I said. Um, it's one of the things that I go to work and I enjoy doing. I mean, I enjoy doing my job, overall, but I think the highlight of my day is when I get to interact with our volunteers and I get to encourage them and support them, and build them up and make them the best that they can be.
Yeah, that's just amazing. Um, do you ever plan on further expanding Top.gg in terms of staff, features, advertising, on billboards, or whatever, you know?
I'm sure that there's plans for that in the future. So in terms of staff and features, like in terms of staff, we are like currently we're trying to figure out a way to increase our staff team. We want to have our moderators focus on moderation and less on bot reviewing, and have our bot reviewers focus on bot reviewing. So that way we can support a bigger bot reviewer team and also support more people to become moderators, because currently we do offer like incentives for our bot reviewers and our moderators, that go above and beyond, in terms of like monetary, or we also offer like merch, that we send out, in terms of if people are super active and super helpful. So I would love to expand that to more people. We do have our contributor team, which they aren't considered staff, but they are people who successfully and actively contribute to the website. And we offer them, some incentives in terms of merch, and stuff like that as well. So I would love to expand that as much as possible. As many people that want to contribute, we would love to have contribute. Right now, it's a matter of finding what they can contribute towards, because some of the stuff on the website obviously is in development and can't be worked on by people who aren't engineers. So we're trying to figure that out, and create more events in the server that they can contribute to, and stuff like that, in terms of support and like providing them the support that they need to support people. So like in terms of support articles on our support website, like FAQs and stuff like that. In terms of features, we're definitely looking to add features right now. Like I said earlier, we're really focusing on bug fixing and rewriting. So we're trying to work on improving our features instead of just pushing out new, and not ever fixing the stuff we currently have. So right now we're focusing on that, but in the future we definitely want to add new features, expand our auction slots, bring back premium. I mean, we have premium, but it doesn't work right now. So we definitely want to bring that back, for people who don't want to see advertisements. We definitely want to expand like our like scope of, we want to expand to other top lists. We want to be like the top website for any top list. So advertising is definitely probably something that we may consider. I'm not sure if like that's definitely a future question for when we get there, but in terms of like finding a new user, like more of a user base, finding more people that aren't just Discord server owners or Discord bot makers, like finding people that just play with bots or just join servers, or just do anything else on the website. Maybe we'll have a top list for like the top 10 guitar brands, and we'll have like new guitar players to join our server or join our community. Like that's something that we definitely want to expand to, and we hope to be able to support in the future.
Yeah, that's really, really, really cool. Now driving away from Top.gg, tell us more about you. What are your hobbies, interests, and etc.?
Well, I am definitely a very introverted person, so, when it comes to talking about myself, I may be a little awkward, so I apologize in advance, but, I am a mom, so I currently have a 2-year-old daughter, and I am expecting, to have another one, so I'm very excited about that. Most of my time. Well, thank you, yeah, it's very exciting, but most of my time right now, I spend, if I'm not working, I play a lot of Final Fantasy 14, which is a MMORPG. If you haven't ever heard of it, I really definitely recommend trying it out. There is a free trial, that you can play up to level 60, so which is really cool. And even like the main game is absolutely fantastic, and the story is one of the best stories in a video game that I've ever experienced. But besides 14, I also play a lot of Minecraft. I don't currently have any servers of my own, but I do like to play a lot of Skyblock. I like to play Sky Factory 4. Recently, myself and my husband have started doing an all advancements run because I've never actually gotten all of the achievements in the game, so that's been really fun to do. But besides like video games and stuff, I do like to draw. I like painting mostly. So I often have like canvases and stuff scattered around my house of in progress paintings. I like to gift people paintings. I'm a really big fan of like personalized gifts. So if somebody's birthday or anniversary or something, like I'll paint them, something instead of just going and buying something from the store because it's a lot more personal. And in my opinion, I think that those gifts are more cherished and more treasured than just like a mug or something you buy from the store. Not saying that those are bad gifts. I'm just saying I definitely like to spend a lot more time and personalize my gifts that I give. I definitely like to read as well. I have my own personal home library of books that I've collected over the years. There's a bookstore near me that has a sale every month on the first day of the month, and I go every month and I get books. So I definitely have lots of bookshelves in my house. I like to sit down and read. I also like audiobooks. I know a lot of people say, regular books and audiobooks are completely different, but sometimes I'll like to, sit down and do something with my hands, like Lego, or I also do cross stitching, and I'll just listen to my book while I'm doing that. And it's one way to keep my mind entertained while my hands are also entertained. Because a lot of the time, I might have a little bit of ADD when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like my hands always have to be doing something. But I do like, I like dogs and cats, obviously. I was a dog groomer for 3 years, so I'm definitely interested in dogs. I currently have 4 cats. I have Sonic, Oreo, Muffin, and Noodle. I don't have any dogs. I want to get a dog, but that kind of got pushed back by us having, another baby. Definitely don't want to get a puppy while you have a baby. They don't mix very well. You won't get any at all.
I'm laughing to myself with the name Oreo and Noodle.
Yes, yeah. So Oreo, my husband named. Noodle, my daughter named. Sonic was named before we got him. So when we went to adopt him, he and his siblings, they were named Sonic and then Knuckles and then Tails, from Sonic the Hedgehog. And then Muffin is actually named after, so there's a Australian kids show named Bluey, that my daughter absolutely loves. Her birthday party this year was Bluey themed. But there's a character named Muffin, and she's really crazy, and she throws a lot of tantrums, and she's kind of like, like a naughty like girl, whatever. And Muffin, our cat, is definitely that way. She's very outspoken. She likes to yell and meow at people, and she likes to get into absolutely everything, climb up the curtains, stuff that she's not supposed to do. So the name definitely fits her. Yeah, in terms of
Unique
like
cat
that's
names.
yeah. Yeah, and I like food names. If we get a dog, I want to name it Marshmallow. Um, I just really like food names. It's really funny to me. I also really like names that are just like regular human names. When I was younger, I had a cat named Steve. Um,
Crazy.
so
But
it's just something that has always been really funny to me.
if I'm being honest, I wanted to name my dog Snuggles, but I got talked out of it because apparently yelling across the park, "Oh, Snuggles, come here," is a little bit weird.
Yeah, I can see that, but it also sounds really funny when you're yelling for like a dog named Steve.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
Steve.
let's go home. Stop biting that person, Steve. It's rude.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. What's an insult that you've gotten that you're proud of?
So as a Discord moderator, you really you get a lot of people that dive into or really like to believe in the stereotype that all Discord moderators are old fat men that just sit at their computer all day or they live in their mom's basement. And it's not that way. I mean, I'm sure there are some Discord moderators out there or Reddit moderators or whatever you want to say, like whatever platform, that moderators do what they do because of the power trip or because of, the feeling that they get when they, tell people don't send memes in general, like that kind of thing. But one time I did receive an insult that basically said that like, it was like, I bet Zaya comes home and makes dinner. Her husband comes home from work and kids sit down for dinner and she's just complaining over the dinner table about how hard her day was because she had to ban some people for sending memes in general when he worked hard all day and actually earned a salary. And I was like, "That's so funny to me because I I get paid to do what I do, I'm a moderator as part of my job. So, it's not like I'm not making money, and I also don't complain about how hard my day was, that I had to ban 2 whole people, like, some people just really think that moderators are, the, like, really lazy, really, dumb, and they do it for no money and no compensation just because they want the power, and a lot of the times it's not that way, a lot of moderators want to be moderators because they wanna help the community that they're moderating for, or they want to, make the place a better place, and so, it's really funny to me that, people actually believe that stereotype. Like, I'm all for the laughs and the memes and stuff, but, like, when people legitimately buy into it and think that every person that has, a special role is like this fat guy in a basement, then that just is really funny to me.
Right. Fair enough. Yeah. The Discord moderator stereotype is something.
It is, yeah. And I mean, it is funny. I'm sure that that stereotype started because of legitimate people that actually acted that way, but, it's always important to remember that stereotypes are never true 100% of the time. And it's always important to remember that the person behind a screen is a person. So whether you're, a regular user or a moderator, when you're interacting with somebody or you're punishing them or, you're trying to tell them what they did wrong, or you're arguing why what you did wasn't against the rules, that the person that you're talking to and you're calling insults to is a person, and behind the screen they're a human. So it's always really important for me to be really empathetic, try to explain the situation, if they're not understanding, maybe try a different way of explaining so that way you can connect with them and really like humanize yourself and humanize them and make sure that no matter what, that like the situation doesn't escalate to like name calling or, just, banning because, they're disagreeing with you. It's really important to connect with them and empathize with them and support them and build them up instead of just, I'm the mod and you do what I say.
Yeah. All right. If you had to write a book tomorrow, what would you write about?
If I had to write a book, so I've always been super interested in reading books. I'm definitely a big sci-fi slash fantasy reader. My favorite book series is the rhythm. It's not called the Rhythm of War. It's the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. And what Brandon Sanderson does is each one of his books has such an amazing magic system that he's handcrafted and hand built um, from the ground up, and it plays into his story so well. And so something that I've always been really interested in writing a book about is something like that, where it's like fantasy driven, magic system based, like novellas, where there's the good guys and the bad guys, but sometimes the bad guys are good and sometimes the good guys are bad, and it makes you question your morals and makes you question, like tropes and stuff in books. And so definitely, I'm also really a big fan of D&D. So like I DM for my local D&D group, and so if I had to write a book, I probably would pick like one of my D&D campaigns that had some kind of like extra special magic system that I handcrafted or ripped from online, and try and write a series about that and like what my characters did and how they saved the world, basically.
Yeah, that would be a good book. I would read it. Um, as you mentioned before, you said that you were a dog groomer. So, what's your favorite kind of dog?
So, my favorite kind of dog that I would want to own are poodles, and specifically the bigger poodles, the standard poodles. I'm not a big fan of little dogs, owning little dogs,
Ch-
but in terms of like huh?
Chihuahuas.
What? No, no, thank you. Chihuahuas are demon dogs, especially when it comes to like doing their nails and stuff,
Oh my
giving them
god.
a fat, they look crazy. But in terms of, like, grooming, I absolutely love grooming Shih Tzus. They're small, they're fluffy, and they're cute when they're done. And most of the Shih Tzus I ever met were, fantastic. Obviously, they're all not gonna be the same, stereotypes are not always 100% accurate, but I really loved doing Shih Tzus. I also do really like golden retrievers. Obviously, they don't get haircuts as much as other dogs, so I didn't do as many of them. But they're just so lovable, and they're obviously really, really good dogs, really obedient dogs. So golden retrievers probably, but poodles are definitely held a soft spot in my heart. I did a lot of poodles because they grow a lot of hair, but they're also hypoallergenic, so they don't shed as much as other dogs. They still shed. Every dog sheds. But they don't shed as much as other dogs, so they're really good in households where you might be allergic to dogs, or have pet dander issues. And also poodles are the number one most intelligent breed. They are really good at learning tricks and being like seeing eye dogs or other kinds of helper dogs. And so I definitely my goal in life is to own a standard poodle that is black, that is male, and I want to name him Onyx, like the rock that's the really dark deep black. And so hopefully when my two children are a little bit older and they can support and understand having a puppy around, I'd love to get a standard poodle.
Yeah, well, that's a good choice. Well, that's all the questions I have for you today. Thank you so much for coming on, Zaya.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a really cool experience.
Great. All right.